Hey everyone, what's up? It's Drew from the Drew Experience, the white autistic Charles Barkley. If you love these conversations, make sure to hit the like, share, subscribe button to the Drew Experience on all channels. Long form conversation on one Kyokushin, where the reels and shorts are on my channel to help grow Kyokushin and whatnot. Today's guest, oh my goodness, you guys, this is the season of giving. This is the biggest guest I've had. This is the most in demand, and no one knows this was happening really until last night, but I'm a giver. He's giving his time to give his story for those who love Kyokushin. It's the season of giving. I'm joined by the most accomplished. He's standing at 6'4", 220 pounds of lean muscle. He is Kyokushin's elite for Brazil. He is K1 royalty. He has helped build Kyokushin in Brazil. I call him one of the 4 Brazilian kings, the inventor of the Brazilian kick, the one, the only, Shihan Glaube Feitosa. Welcome to the show, Shihan.
Oh, how are you, Drew? Big honor to be here with you. Oh,
I'm very well, thank you for asking.
thanks for
And
the words. Thank you very much for the words.
I
I
hope that
thought
intro
I
was
thought a
good.
little bit too much, too much words, but I feel honored.
Well, listen, as I said, you're a king, one of the kings, as I like to say, and you deserve to be treated as such. And
Yes.
it's such an honor to finally have you on. And I remember back in the day when I started my show, I watched your YouTube video that I showed you at the seminar in November. And one of the Shians I then spoke to another set. He's now Shian. Shout out to Sensei, now Shian Junior Russo, who said, "Yeah, you'll get him on one day. You just give it time. If you continue growing and growing, he'll come on." And hey, here we are. And also, I got to thank Shian Pierre Cataford and Dominic Gohan for an amazing seminar. And they're the ones that connected me with you as well and Shian Fiho.
Yeah.
It's a big honor. And it's as I said, this is one of the most, it's like, I'm kind of shocked that I could say I'm speaking to you, and I could say that I could that I call you a friend from the seminar.
Yeah, of course, man. Like we were saying before, we are just one family, one big family, Kyokushin family, all over around the world. So I was very glad, was very motivating to know you guys in Canada, to train with you guys. I know Jean Filho felt the same. So, was a nice opportunity to contact you guys through Shihan Dominique to Jean Pierre. So nice, nice people in Canada. So I, I want to come again very soon. I hope.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you will be back. I
yeah,
mean, you're coming back in March. I can't wait. So
yes, yes, sir.
to begin the conversation, a lot of I always love to ask because before you become the practitioner you are,
Yeah.
I want to know, how did you end up choosing Kyokushin instead of say other martial arts or sports growing up in Brazil?
No, I mean, I was just a kid,
Hmm.
and I had this friend in the same class of me. He used to do Gojuryu,
Hmm.
karate style Gojuryu. So, and then I was very interested on that time because when you're a kid, you like fighting. You like to watch cartoons, movies of fighting or this and that. So, as a normal kid who wants to, to fight or be something on fighting, and then I went to his dojo, watched some class. But in my way to my school, I used to take this bus to go to my school. And the middle of the way, there was Karate Kyokushin, you know. And then I was, that dojo was easier for me to get there than the other one of my friends, And then I asked my dad, say, hey, I want to go there. I don't know, I want to see. So my dad took me over there, and then we saw a class. And then that was a Friday night. And then the instructor over there, he was a brown belt, kind of senpai over there. He wasn't a black belt. And then he said, "Oh, we're gonna have a test, a Q test on Sunday. If you wanna come, you know." I said, "Okay." And then I went there by myself. It was Sunday in the morning, and then I saw, that was the first time I saw Izobishan. He was doing the test for 4 guys. and then I love it. I was just a kid, but I want to do that. I want to, kick and fight and do something because, they did kumite and everything. So the next day on Monday, and then I started training. I started training as a white belt. I said, no, Dad, I want to do that. And then we started together. I mean, I started first. A month later, my brother. A month later, my father. A month later, my mother.
Wow, it
So
was
it
a
was
whole
four
family.
family, all the family. So myself, so okay, my dad, my brother, and I, we got black belts. We became black belt. My mother, she got some health issues, and then he stopped on a blue belt. But she was always Kyokushin like us, just very severe. Okay, okay, you go fight more, train more. So I was lucky. I was very lucky to find Kyokushin on my way to my school, and then very lucky that my whole family took part of it. Everybody embraced it together. So that was perfect.
That's very beautiful to hear, especially how it carries on. And then that must have made it easier for you to train very hard and having your parents backing because they saw the benefits of
Yeah,
what karate does.
yeah, sure. Like, yeah, for my father and my mother, because where we used to live, kind of dangerous place. So my dad, my mother, they want a good example. In Kyokushin, you're full of, heroes like fighters and this. You want to do that, you need to train. You want to get black belt, you need to train. You need to have discipline and work and train and have a good food, have athletes life. So that was perfect for that occasion. That what my mother, my father want to us, to me and my brother. So
That
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 fits perfectly.
that's excellent. So during that time, you're getting good, you're progressing, and then another individual who I like to call your Kyokushin brother,
Yeah,
Shihan Francisco Fijo, the other Brazilian king.
yeah.
How did you meet him and how did you guys become so close?
Okay, so that was years later.
Okay.
We started to train together. Okay, I started in 1985,
Hmm.
but 7 years later, we started to train together in
Oh.
Izobishan's dojo because Izobishan's dojo is the headquarters
Hmm.
of South America on that time
Hmm.
because we used to belong Eco one. So Jean Filho got there first because he wasn't from there, from that dojo, Bishan's dojo, or another dojo, myself, or the other city, because Shihan Filho lived in São Paulo. I lived
Okay.
another city, very near, very, very close. But we trained separate. So he became uh, champion, a Brazilian champion, South American champion. And he was transferred to Izobishan's place, dojo. So I was growing, watching him winning. So and then I started to become also champion, like São Paulo, other areas. And then I had the opportunity to go and train with him. That was 1992.
Hmm.
Okay, I think he was no, he was Shodan, and I was Shodan as well. And then, but very young, he was already the champ. And then I got there, just a tall guy, skinny tall guy. But we started to train together because of my height.
Hmm.
I had to hold pads for him, and then he was getting stronger, stronger. I was the only one who could hold the pads for him. So that's why we became partners,
Hmm.
and then we start growing together. He was first, and then I was coming after him. You know.
Wow. And it's funny you say 1992, because then the year later, the first UFC happens. So, what was that like back then when UFC 1 debuts? Because, yes, Hoist Gracie won. That was soup. I think it's one of the most important moments for Brazilian combat
Yeah.
sports, also martial arts. But what was it like seeing Gerard Gordeau, who was a former Kyokushin practitioner? Were
Yeah.
you kind of rooting for him as well back then? Or would you
I
not?
was, I was so into Kyokushin
Mhm.
world that okay, there's UFC, but I knew some guys. Okay, Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't knew really about it.
Mhm.
Okay, this UFC or because in Brazil we call it Vale Tudo before.
Mhm.
vale tudo, because no rules.
Hmm.
Everything can come. Head and every even biting everything. No gloves, no nothing.
Hmm.
We knew some guys up like these guys who crazy fighting. And then after that, we heard about UFC. This guy, jiu-jitsu guy, Hoisey and Gracie family. And then we slowly, okay, this is the Gracie family and this and that. But for me, I always admire guys because in Kyokushin we go world tournament. It doesn't matter the size, doesn't matter who you're fighting. You need to fight. You need to win. Hoisey in UFC back in the days, there's no weight classes,
Hmm.
so he fought anybody and he became champion. So that's the goal that we true fighters. That's what we wanted. Fight anybody, 2 meters tall, 150 kilos, doesn't matter. You know.
That's amazing. So you become a Shihan Fiho um, pad holder, but as you said, you're going up. Like he's here, he's up, but you're slowly catching up and then equal. What was it like to get the call from Shihan Azobe to say, Glaube, I want you and Francisco to represent Brazil at the World Tournament? What was that moment like for you?
Okay, yeah, it's slowly because on that time I was
Mhm,
pad holder,
mhm.
but okay, because it was I hold it for him, he hold it for me too. So I'm learning. I'm becoming stronger, become bigger, because he was already a heavyweight
Mhm.
champ. So I was young. I had no proper muscles yet. Just building it slowly but it was a good transition because that was in 1992, like we talk about. And then 1993 I won my first international tournament, that was in Chile. 1994 we had this it's more like we call it in Portuguese mundialito. It's a small world tournament that. And then Shihan Filho won. I was the second. The
Mhm.
third was Walter Schnabel. I don't know if you know him. He was Australian champion, Oceania champion
I've
on that.
heard his name. He's from Australia or Papua New Guinea,
Yeah.
right? Like New Guinea, around there.
Yes. That's a very powerful fighter. A very nice guy. He spent months training with us in Sao Paulo. So he became very good friend of all of us Brazilians. And then he was third on that tournament. That was in 1994. You know, Shihan, yes, Shihan Tamura fought it. Abe, Kyofumi Abe. So a few Japanese came. So it was a big tournament. I was the second. And then everything leads to me on 1995. That was the first world tournament for me. Gianfili was his second world tournament. That was my first. I was 22 years old, I think. Yes, I was 22 years old. And then everything was not just one turn. Slowly. Remember, I started in 85. 10 years later, I was fighting Japan. It's not 10 days, 10 years later. So I had a lot of training, a lot of sensei Shihans, people, who helped me. So was a good, slow development and improvement.
That's amazing. So 10 years, because you said you started in 85. So then we fast forward to 10 years. So it's like
Yeah,
going really fast now. But to 1995, when you go to Japan for the first time,
yeah.
what was that experience like to get off and the mecca of Kyokushin? What was that like for you to finally see the land of where karate was
No,
made?
is of course there's that dream coming true because man, I was just a little kid, and then now I'm fighting Japan, the land of fighting and this and that. But I didn't like so much Japan on that time.
Really?
I didn't like because okay, we went like 20 days before the world tournament.
Mhm,
Shanfil and I, we won first because we were four Brazilians qualified for that tournament.
mhm.
But 20 days before the world tournament, Shanfil and I, we went there first to adjust. everything.
Yeah.
So I hate it because I had, but this is, I had it in a good way.
Hmm.
I had to eat too much. I had to train. I was, everything. I had to, it's Kyokushin. You eat, train, eat. I said, man, I'm off my home. I need to train. I need to train a lot and eat too much. When I say eat too much, like 2 hours eating,
Oh
son,
no.
and then training. So I don't know. Someone must pay off. Someone must pay for that in the tournament. And then I let my um, the feeling that I had inside to flow, and then I was kind of a little bit wild on that tournament.
That happens. And in that tournament, one of my favorite fights of yours to watch was definitely versus Hajime Kazumi. So,
Yeah,
what was it like to fight? What was it like to fight him and experience the leg kicks?
yeah. On that time, my leg was I felt so much pain on my leg, not of his fight, but with the previously,
Mhm,
the previous fight. I fought on that tournament. I fought Shinobu, the Australian again. I fought Ichimura. I think he was number 3 in Japan on that time. The Japanese tournament before he was number 3.
mhm,
So he was, and then I must tell you, I wasn't that good on blocking low kicks.
mhm,
I always attacked
mhm.
too much offensive, but I was lack on blocking. And then my leg I felt so much pain before the fight. And there was this guy who helped us, Senor Akamini. He was a Japanese who lives in Brazil, and he used to help us. He lives in São Paulo. He used to live in São Paulo. And then he gave me this cream, you know, and then I put on my leg, and then I couldn't feel my leg anymore. So that's strong. That good. That's the strong medicine. I don't know. And then I fought Kazumi, and I gave everything on that first round. On the second round, I was done already. But I think it was a good match.
It was a war. It was a war. It's one of my favorite fights because you just kept coming. He kept coming. It was had like who was able to last longer. That's what it was.
Yeah,
But one of my favorite fights, and it's one of the fights where I follow like that. I really was like where I became, I would say, like a supporter of yours in a sense because I was like I really like the spirit you have to just keep going. 'Cause, dude, Shian, if you hurt your leg or your foot, it's pretty hard to continue those tournaments.
yeah.
And so what you did was astronomical and amazing. It's not a loss, it's an experience. That's how I always
Of
look
course,
at it.
of
Yeah.
course. You learn much more from a defeat than a victory. I have this on my mind. Always, always.
That's very true. What are your most memorable fights from Kyokushin and K1? It's a hard one, but
Yeah.
in your opinion.
I love my fight with against Nicolas
Okay.
Peras. That was 1997. That was I have this one and another one from 2003 against Sergei Oshpov.
Hmm.
I have to elect those two, but I think with Nicolas I think was a little bit better. I can call it number one for me. That was a good match. And K1, I have special fights. Like I must say against Andy Hug, we went 5 rounds. He broke my nose. I cut his head. So it was 5 rounds of like you said before, a war. And I think the one the most important for me against Musashi, the one
Hmm.
Tobi Hizagiri, when I jump with the knee, and one that was I think the one who put me in the final against Semi Shoot. So I must choose that one.
That's amazing. And also a lot of people don't know this because K1, there's so many K1 events, it's hard to keep up unless you're
Yeah,
really into it. You fought a young Alistair Overeem, and that was in the K1 versus Kyokushin Grand Prix. What was
yeah.
that like? That's one of my favorite fights because you basically showed
Okay.
that the K1 guys thought they could beat the karate guys, but you're like, no, 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 it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, yeah. That was the co-main event because Sean Filho fought Remy
Mhm,
Bonyansky
mhm,
in the last fight, And then all the Kyokushin won. We all Kyokushin won on that night. That was the Ichigeki tour. That was Ichigeki event. With the fighters, and then K1 gave some of their fighters. Remy Boyanski was the champion because that was 2004. This Ichigeki event. So in 2003, that was the first Remy Boyanski winning the K1 OGP. So he fought Chanfillo, and then I fought Alistair. Alistair used to fight. He has he's a kickboxer, but he used to fight also Pride in MMA. He had some fights with Shogun and other Brazilian guys. And then he came to fight me, and that was a good because we had a good team together, Kyokushin guys. Was Chanfilho, myself, SSC Everton Teixeira was on it, Leti Kurbanov.
Oh,
So it was a
wow.
huge team. So on kickboxing was myself, Chanfilho, and Everton and Leti. They fought Kyokushin. Was a Kyokushin match, not punch in the face, but. That was 7-0. We won the 7 fights. It was a
That's
very nice event.
crazy. So you're telling me this is breaking news for history here. Now Shihan now. Lechi Kurbanov was in that Grand Prix with you, Ewerton, and Francisco. That is
Yeah.
insane.
Okay, that was not a Grand Prix. I mean, that is not only one matches.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
what I
one
mean?
matches. Okay.
Only one matches. So I don't have the card now, but Akaishi Makoto fought, Max Dedic fought, Arthur, the Armenian, he's
Oh,
Shihan
Vizian. Yeah.
fan, Lechi, Everton, myself, Chanfilho. I think I'm not sure Alejandro Navarro
Navarro.
fought. I'm not sure if he fought too.
Okay.
That was a big thing.
That,
Pichkunov.
Pichkinov. Okay.
Pichkunov fought. Pichkunov. Shan Alexander Pichkunov.
Wow, that's just a team of that's a team of assassins right there. And then so that what an era, man. That was such a great era. You had
Yeah.
because it was like the golden era, and then you also had another Brazilian coming up too, Andrews Nakahara.
Yes.
Tell me about how you met him because everyone knows about you. They know about Francisco. They know about Ewerton, but Andrews is a very important person in Kyokushin. So how did
Yes.
this basically?
Yeah. And just, because I was living in Japan
Mm-hmm.
to 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back to live in Brazil
Mm-hmm.
on late mid of 2007, and then Andrews, he was training at Jean Filho's dojo.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the instructors and
Mm.
training there for tournaments.
Wow.
And then very talented with a lot of stamina. He was already a world champion in
Yep.
Kyokushin. And then he was training there. He was training with Chanfilho because he wanted to try professional or kickboxing or MMA, any professional fighting. And then he was one of us. He was one of us pioneers on MMA. He fought even, his first fight against who? Sakuraba. You know
Yep.
Sakuraba?
Yeah, he fought on the same card, and not
Yeah.
many people know this, that Nakahara and Sakuraba fought on the same card that Gegard Mousasi fought and won that Dream Grand Prix. That was that card.
Oh,
That's a very packed fight card, and that's
yeah.
something people need to know about Andrews Nakahara. He beat
Yes.
Sakuraba.
Yeah. He fought Sakuraba. So that was Dream. I think they
Mm-hmm.
even call it Dream. Because back on that time, K1 promoted Heroes and Dream.
Mm-hmm.
There was MMA mix. They had kickboxing fights, MMA fights, everything. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
it was crazy how they were doing it, and it was just like right when the internet came out. So you're just looking at this on the early days of YouTube, and so you have Andrew Nakahara, and then I have to ask this because Sam Greco, who's now with you guys in Senshi,
Yeah.
that guy is a legend. So so did you meet him because of his K1 connection with Shihan Francisco, or through Kyokushin as well? Like, how does Sam fit into this whole equation here?
No, okay. Sam, he started first, right?
Mhm.
he was one of the pioneers with Andy Hug
Hmm.
on K1. But if
Hmm.
you get back 1993, the
Yeah.
previous release events of K1,
Hmm.
and was Sangreco, was Andy Hug, was Masaki Satake.
Hmm.
Those guys started K1.
Hmm.
And then Peter Hertz came, Ernesto Hus came, who else? Branko Sikacic came. But Sangreco, he was there from the beginning. But the first time I met him was because I was set to fight. My first fight ever was against Mike Bernardo, and in an event called K1 Dream. There was 1998.
Hmm.
So the K1 Dream was the karate versus kickboxing. So on Kyokushin side, a karate side, not Kyokushin, because we had Kyokushin and Seido Kaikan. So Kyokushin was myself, Shanfilio Nicholas. And then Seido was Andy San Greco. He was there. And then Musashi. And I think, I'm not sure, I think it wasn't Masaki Satake. Or I can't remember the other one. We were 7 fighters. I think Nakasako. I think Tsuyoshi Nakasako. He was also representing Seido. So we went to have one training together for promotion for this event. And that was the first time I have the opportunity to train with Andy and Sangre. I didn't knew them. I didn't know him before. Shanfilio, yes. Shanfilio fought him in 1998 on a Grand Prix. I was his corner, one of his corner, Shanfilio's corner. Then I saw Shanfilio knock him out, with a right hook.
Wow.
His right hook was unbelievable. He knocked Andy, he knocked Sangreco with the same punch. And then I was there. But I had the opportunity to talk with him. Just see the other. He was in the other side. He was enemy, you know.
Yeah.
But few, that was 90. Yeah, and then no, me. Sorry, that was 97.
Hmm.
On 98, we fought the same card, and
Hmm.
then we trained one train together on the gym and one training on Mitsumini Mountain.
Hmm.
I don't know if you see that footage. We training together with Chan Isobe and Kahuda.
Is that the famous photo where you guys are all like this
Yes,
on?
yes, yes. And then we trained there.
Mhm.
So that time, and then I started to know these guys, to know these guys, Andy and Sangreco, because I didn't know them before.
That was
But
the yeah.
always nice, nice,
Mhm.
nice, nice guys.
That's the story I always hear about Andy and Sam, especially Sam, like how much of a gentleman he is. Like
Yes,
Sam will be the kind of guy, from what I've heard. Let's say like he's at a cafe, like he's with his family, and if you
yes.
recognize him, you go, "Hey, you're Sam Greco." He'll take the time to sign, like he'll take the time like to
He's a
sign,
big gentleman,
and
no
an
doubt about it.
amazing father too, from what I've heard. Like he's just a
Yes.
standout guy.
And he's still wonderful, wonderful man. Very, very gentle.
Yeah, he's one of the reasons too. I mean, like I don't want to sound like a fanboy here, but I am gonna sound like a fanboy here, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm breaking my rule. Like the influences that got me into Kyokushin were a mix of Dolph Lundgren, Sam Greco, and yourself. When I found out about you on a Joe Rogan episode, not the recent one that they were talking about, but it was an old one with Rory McDonald where he said, "Yeah, if well, he calls you Glaube because he doesn't know
Yeah.
you're Shihan. He's like, yeah, Glaube Feitosa is the inventor of the Brazilian kick." And that's when I asked my friend
You know,
Mohammed, "Who's this Glaube Feitosa?" And he's like, "Look him up. Here's the video." And that's when I found the video. So
yeah.
yeah, like people like you guys are like the reason why I love Kyokushin because yes, it's about showing this expressing yourself through the art, but it's also about how you conduct yourself outside of the tatami because
Yeah.
champions come and go, and the ones that are gentlemen, those are the ones I feel that always last the longest in terms of
Okay.
like their legacy.
Okay. I just want to tell,
Yeah.
I'm not the inventor,
No.
not the inventor of
Okay.
Brazilian kick. We have other guys doing Brazilian kicks,
Mhm.
Okay, Brazilian because, okay, I'm Brazilian, but I saw some, I must be honest, on that time, Ademir da Costa did it.
Okay.
Ademir da Costa. Um, old Brazilian champions. Also, Luciano Basile did. Okay, Luciano, myself, Shihan Filho used to do a lot. But the one who took, I think, because of the moment, K1 was the big platform, was the big event, most recognized event. The one who took the this kick to the highlights was me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I started knocking guys out, even to be recognized by Joe Rogan on all the important people. So now you're the man for this kick. Okay, thank you very much. But I'm not the inventor.
Okay.
All the people did it before, but I think I'm the one who brought to the highlights.
Yes.
To the main stages. I think. You know.
That's understandable. So I stand corrected. The man who brought it to popularity. How does that sound? Who
Yes,
made it
yes,
popular?
much better. Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
Even
excellent.
even he, like they, because they say, oh, this is the Brazilian kick, and then I see a lot of people on Instagram, on Facebook. This is not Brazilian kick. This kick is different. We do this in Taekwondo. Hey, I'm not the one who say, who says first, I'm Brazilian because, okay, Brazilian. No, no, no. The Japanese fans, the Japanese who watch K1 say, hey, this Brazilian, he's Brazilian kid.
Oh,
They
okay.
gave this name to me. I didn't ask, I didn't put this name. They call, oh, you Brazilian kid, you Brazilian. I said, okay, I'm Brazilian kid. And then, okay, I'm the Brazilian kid. And that's why people call it Brazilian kid. I think because the Japanese fans,
Hmm.
because we call it in Kyokushin, we used to call it, Mawashi Kubigeri in Brazil,
Hmm.
because Kubi is neck.
Hmm.
Mawashigiri, Mawashi Kubi because of the neck. But the Brazilian kick was by the Japanese fans, you know.
Hmm. That's amazing. So
Yes.
here's another thing I have to ask because here's another tidbit I found out about you. So you and Francisco and Shian Sam Greco are in the K1 video game, and I gotta give a huge shout out to Andre Luis Vera of MMA Figures because he's the one that showed this to me,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, and I just want to say I love Andre, and if you guys are looking to follow a great page, follow his page if you love combat sports. That guy is an amazing human being, and I will always back him. And we follow him, and he's so nice. So tell me how did you guys get picked for the video game? What was that like?
You know, I'm a huge video game fan. I used to play since I was a kid, Atari,
Hmm.
Super Nintendo, and then PlayStation, and all the platforms. I love it. I love
Hmm.
game. But I think the first one was 1998.
Hmm.
Yeah, between 1998, yeah, I think 1998, or K1 game. But we had one Kyokushin game as well. I don't know if you know it.
Hmm.
One Ichigeki game
Hmm.
also. They record our movement with the sensors,
Hmm.
record our voice in Japan. Was K1 game. We had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. The last
Okay.
one was PlayStation 3.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Me as a kid, a gamer fan. So it was amazing for me to be in a game because you want to show to all your parents, all to your brothers, and to your family. Like even one of the best sensations for me was when my son now he's 16,
Hmm.
but when my son was about 7 to 8, and then I plugged PlayStation 3, and then I showed him, hey, see this guy? And then, hey, it's you that say, yeah. And then he was to play with me. So that was the best feeling. It's nice to see that he couldn't believe. Said, no, but is that you? True. Yeah, that's you. Say, yeah, you see the short, everything. So it's amazing. I can tell you, it's amazing feeling. Everything that you did before, training, fighting, and on moments like that, I pay it. Everything that you suffer is
That's amazing, and that's so amazing to hear about how your son was
yeah,
amazed by it, and he must have told all his friends, and then all his friends must have you must have been slammed with autographs after everyone's like, oh, it's Glove
yeah.
Feitosa, oh, in a video game, so you must have been signing autographs like next. Next, like that must would have been like for you when you showed him that.
Yeah, but no signing part in Japan. In Brazil, not is not that much.
Oh, okay,
Not that much.
yeah, that's the thing with Japan. Like, I have to bring this up because from my experience, now nothing like yours. I mean, like but when you go to Japan, so I went to Japan last year for the first time. It was like, and when they saw like the kanji that I was wearing, they were saluting us, they were bowing to us, they were taking photos with us. I was like, I'm not the star here. I mean, I'm like, you could take a photo with my Shihan. He's the star. Shihan Pierre's the star. Senpai Mohammed Chick, who won second place, is the star. I'm just the guy that takes the photos and does it. But it's really beautiful to see like how it's just
How they
how they react to you.
recognize and they see the value. I don't know. It's part of the culture, you know. You see. It's funny, like I you watch Dragon Ball.
Hmm.
Dragon Ball. You know Dragon Ball,
Of course.
the famous. Goku. Goku fighting. He's small guy. Then he fights big guy, and that's the main the area. So in the GP, who wins goes for the next. This is pure Kyokushin. I know.
Do you know now that your fan base is gonna jump up by 1,000 now that you said you like Dragon Ball? Because everyone's gonna be like, he likes Dragon Ball. So guys, help him. Let's get Shian Glaube to like 100K followers now because he just gave a Dragon Ball reference, which
Yeah,
is so
Dragon Ball.
true.
Dragon Ball.
Another thing too with the tournament. So I gotta mention this because back in 2015, you did the world tournament then, and there was a bracket, and my friend Mohammed Chick. I know you said you're not the best with names, you're better with faces, but he was there. He's the one that broke Navarro's arm in the final, if that maybe helps ring a memory. But
Yeah.
he always said that he said it was a big honor to have to get to be on the bus with you because
Oh, nice.
he's like the aura was real. And he's like, but when I sensed from Shian Glaube, he's like, this is like a man who's like done everything. And he's like, the one thing that Mohammed I think wishes was if he could have at least got one match
Mm.
with you or at least some sparring. Cause he's like, I just want to say, like, I got to like learn something from Shian Glaube.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
very speaks very highly of you. He's a real, like we always and we actually talk about you a lot. Like since the seminar when I met you for the first time, he's like, "How was it with Shian Galave?" And I'm just like saying like it was like a dream come true. Like I couldn't believe I
Mm.
got to do it. I got to ask this too because I could go on about this forever, but I got to
Yes,
keep to the
yes.
topic. When it comes to Senshi, what you guys are doing is amazing. What I like to say, what you, Shian Frank, Sensei Andrews, and Sensei Uriton are basically trying to grow Kyokushin in South America and beyond. What is the goal? What is the plan for to keep that going in order to keep the legacy of Kyokushin alive?
No, I mean, we're working a lot. Not
Mhm,
okay. KW Senshi, we want, the first thing is unite,
mhm,
unite Kyokushin. Doesn't matter the organization. When you because I can tell you, you can find good people, very responsible people who loves Kyokushin, who trains the real Kyokushin in all organizations. I met Shihan. Okay, we start work together with Sean Dominic in Canada.
mhm,
And then through Sean Dominic, that was the first time I went to Montreal this year for the seminar and met Sean Dominic, great Shihan, and then had the opportunity to meet Sean Pierre. So and then Sean Pierre is from Iko Nakamura,
mhm,
so wonderful person, wonderful, very how to say competent. I don't know the word in English, but very serious on working for the benefits of Kyokushin, you know, together with Sean Dominique. So and then we from KKW Senshi, we getting on the North America now through Sean Dominique, you know, and then we want to get on America, United States, and then we had one in Mexico City.
mhm,
It's already confirmed that we have one sensei in Mexico City. So we taking all places, and then we want to spread this mentality of union, of working together, even if we're not at the same organization. If you are serious, if you want to develop, to evolve your students, come together. You know what I mean? Because, you know, we had, next year will be 40 years for me in Kyokushin. Because, like I said, 85, 80,
Yeah.
85 I
Mhm.
started. So 2025, next year I'll be 40 years in Kyokushin. So I had so much. I had so much. Like you said, I had professional career. I had trained all over the world. I had fighting champions. I had even in a video game, like you said. You know, so great things for me in these 40 years. You know, so we want more people. I want more people to have the opportunity at least to do the same. You know what I mean? So this is what I think we believe in KW Station.
I agree, and I'm really glad that you had the chance to work with Shian Dominic and Shian Pierre, and to a degree, I would say myself too, because I'm the voice for those two.
Yeah.
Because I'm in North America, I do what I do on the camera, and my goal, like as I said, Shian Dominic and Shian Pierre didn't have to do what they did. They could have said, "No, we don't want to do this, or we'll keep it
Hmm.
private." They're doing it for all of Quebec and Canada and the US to show like we're all here to unite no matter what. We all have the same kanji. Yes, a kata might be maybe how we do like a certain kata, maybe the movement might be a little different, but we're here to pass the knowledge and share it in order to grow. Because how are we going to survive if Brazilian Jiu Jitsu did what they did? We have to do the same, if not better. We can do it. And that's what I see what KWU and Senshi's doing. And I'm very happy to say that my Shian, who's with Ikio, who is with Icon and Dominic, where we're Shian Dom are working with
Yeah.
you guys, and with me, who's there like to take the photos, do the talking. I want to help you guys too. So that's why like it's a big honor for me. It's a challenge, but I'm up for the challenge. That's why, in order to bridge North and South America together.
Yes. A challenge. Always a challenge. Our life full of challenge, right?
You don't grow
So
without challenge and suffering.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
And as I said, I love what you guys are doing, and like it's such a it's as I said, like I still couldn't believe also when I was sitting next to you at lunch, like the one thing, like I know like you're gonna be like, oh, like I'm just an average guy, but you know the thing is, the one thing I'll never forget when I was sitting with you during the seminar, and the one thing that I want to share is like how very like um kind you were. Because obviously, for someone, when I say at the beginning of my show, I'm the white autistic Charles Barkley, like the basketball player, it's a kind of like a joke, but it's also to showcase like even people who are autistic, who have autism, can do what I do. And the kindness that you show, like, and you said you have an autistic student. I want to showcase, I hope like my story, like to show how kind you were, gets more students who have challenges like with autism, or say maybe like a physical challenge, to come to your school and others. Because Shian, as I said, I think you are a class act, and I really hope that my conversation can, like, that I'm doing
Thank you
with
very
you, can
much.
help get more students, get more visibility, to show why Kyokushin is for everybody.
Yes, it will. It will, my friend. It will.
And with that, I have to ask, the last question I have to ask is,
Okay.
what do you want your legacy to be as a father, as and as a, not as a father, but yeah, as a Shian too? Like when it's all said and done, what do you hope to accomplish when it's all said and done?
You know, I think I have a lot to accomplish.
Hmm.
Okay, not as a fighter, because as a fighter, I did everything that I want to do.
Hmm.
I fought who I want to fight, and everything. But now I'm trying to build something here on my
Hmm.
city. Not, I mean, trying, but already building, because we building a Senshi gym here in
Hmm.
Curitiba. I live in Curitiba.
Hmm.
I don't know if you guys know or have you heard about Curitiba. Curitiba is one of the main cities of fighting. What do you say? Fighting mentality,
Hmm.
fight tradition in Brazil. Because if you talk about jiu-jitsu, it's Rio de Janeiro.
Hmm.
Gracie family from Rio de Janeiro. But Muay Thai in Brazil, Curitiba. Here we had, who grew up here. Anderson Silva, Vanderlei Silva, Shogun. So these are Muay Thai. And then now I have Kyokushin here. And then we build in Senshi Gym. And I'm already teaching Kyokushin here for a few years. But now with the big tool on my hand, with a bigger gym, I think I can spread much more. You know, that's what that is my main goal right now. And then the legacy is to spread the seed here in south of Brazil. We need more of that. You know.
Well, listen, I'll do what I can to help. I don't speak Portuguese, but if you want me to use my podcast to help you grow it, hey man, you have my support no matter what. Like that's me, man. I'm always
Thank
here
you.
to
Thank
help support. And I really want to thank you for coming on, by the way, Shihan
you. Yes.
Glaube. So because this was it's like, when I had there's a lot of podcast. I'm very proud of all my guests I've had on. I'm always appreciative,
Yes.
but when I had Sensei Ewerton on, I was his first English interview he ever did, and I
Yes.
was kind of scared of that one. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, wow, Ewerton. And then I got to have you come on. Now I've had Judd Reed come on. I've had
Yeah.
Nicholas Pettis on. It
Yeah.
just grows, and it's like I have to like pinch myself to say what did I do, but I got to thank you for coming on. It's such
Thank
an
you very much.
honor. And it's a privilege to call you now a friend, and I cannot wait for you to come back to Montreal. Where can people connect with you on social media so we can grow
Yes.
that following?
Oh, very nice, Drew. So I want to thank you very much for the invitation, for the opportunity to tell about, a little bit about my history, for what I believe on and what I'm doing. So is a great opportunity for me. Thank you very much.
No problem. What's your Instagram if people want to follow you, or
Okay,
like if for social media?
Glaube Feitosa, at Glaube Feitosa, just simple.
Make sure to follow him, guys, and make sure to follow what he does. Follow KW Senshi,
Post.
KW Senshi Montreal. Follow him. Follow Shihan Francisco Fio. Follow the Brazilian Kings, because him, Andrews, Ewerton, and Francisco, guys, they are doing something insanely amazing that I'm behind, and I'm gonna be there to support them all the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh,
Just one more,
oh,
Drew.
sure.
Just one more. I'll be on January 24th, 5th, and 6th in Santiago, Chile, with Sensei Tariel. You know Tariel, the
Of
world champion
course.
2011. So we're doing a summer camp. Okay, so we're gonna be there on Chile. Okay, again, January 24th, 5th, and 6th. And yes, that's and in Montreal, March 15th, KW Sench Gold Cup.
They're
Don't miss
coming.
it.
The Brazilians are coming to Montreal. I repeat, on March 15th.
Don't
And if
miss
you're
it.
in South America and Santiago, Chile, make sure to check out information. Subscribe to that camp. Let's help grow Kyokushin no matter where you are. That's how we're going to end 2024. And if you like these conversations, subscribe to the Drew Experience on all platforms. Subscribe to One Kyokushin too. I'm partners with them. We're growing Kyokushin all together no matter what.
Yes.
Us.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New
Oh,
Year.
Happy New Year.